Oh my god, this party is amazing, everybody. There's Bradley Cooper. I love him. Hey, where's Oscar Isaac? It's very important to me that I talk to Oscar Isaac. Oh my god, Charlize, you look amazing. Zendaya, hi. Caveman, is that you?
Oh, hi, Maggie.
Oh, hi, honey. Tonight's Oscars, the 96 Academy Awards, were a blast. Did you love them?
I actually really enjoyed this year's Academy Awards.
Oh my god, let's mingle. Hello and welcome, Minglers, to a special bonus episode of Movie Mingle, where we discuss the 96 Academy Awards, which just aired. It is March 10th, almost 8 o'clock, and we're going for it. We're recording a quick podcast. Hi, Caveman.
How are you doing today, Maggie?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I'm great. I just watched surprisingly, a really entertaining...
A really good show.
Academy Awards show. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I thought Jimmy Kimmel was rough in a couple of places, but otherwise he kind of killed it. He was fun.
I like that he can still be a little edgy and tell some jokes that you're just like, ooh, is that allowed?
Is that okay?
Yeah, but in the end you're just like, yeah, sure it is.
It was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's start off with the opening monologue. How did you think he did?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quick and witty and
it was
some
a lot
really
of fun.
Good points. My favorite joke, I think, is probably with Ryan Gosling when he told him, "Can we go camping and not tell our wives?"
Jimmy Kimmel was so thirsty in that whole monologue. I mean, especially for Ryan Gosling, but like in general, he was thirsty, and I was kind of here for it. Personally, my favorite joke, it's between two of them. It was between him telling Jodie Foster that she was 22, telling Jodie Foster that she was 20 years too old to play Robert De Niro's girlfriend. I thought was very funny and very biting. And I also really enjoyed when Jimmy Kimmel said that 100% of the people in that room would die if they had to pick up a shovel when talking about their pampered lives versus the people in the unions.
The handle of a shovel. Just the handle of a shovel.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed those two jokes. I thought he did a great job. It was a ton of fun. My only argument is that when they showed like all the Teamsters that helped put the movies together, the camera focused on the famous people.
Look at all these famous people.
Look at all these famous, pretty people. While we talk about the everyday people
and the laborers,
the caterers and whatnot. Yeah, so all those wonderful people came out on screen or on the stage for a moment to like be celebrated, but instead they were like, "Oh my God, here's Margot Robbie, here's Cillian Murphy." Like that was a choice for the directors, and it was the wrong choice for sure. The show moved very quickly, I felt, even though it was definitely over 3 hours.
It was over 3 hours.
Kept at a pretty good clip.
It didn't feel like 3 hours. Like I felt like when they said there were 4 categories left towards the end, and they're like, "It's going to take another hour." And I think it was 30 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't feel that long.
It was pretty quick. I really enjoyed something new that they did this year.
What?
For every acting category, they had previous winners talk to each nominee.
I thought that was really wonderful, too. We didn't really get to see the Best Supporting Actress because our internet got a little squirrely. It happens, guys. You all know that. But by the time they got to Best Supporting Actor, I was really like sold on the idea of that. I thought that was very sweet. There were definitely some very tender moments in all of the acting categories with that new way of presenting. And I thought it was really cute. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I imagine that, especially for the people that didn't win, just having an actor that they looked up to and admired talk to them was probably pretty sweet. Like, I think that was a great job.
So, can we talk about the first category?
Let's talk about Devine winning for Best Supporting Actress for The Holdovers. Absolutely well-deserved, in my opinion. I didn't see a lot of the nominated movies this year, not as many as Caveman has seen, but I did see The Holdovers.
We did see The Holdovers together.
And it broke me. It is easily my favorite movie of 2023. I cried so hard during most of that film, but it was such a cathartic, beautiful, necessary cry that I will forever love that film. I might not watch it a lot because, oh boy, is it kind of heavy. But I love the film, and I think that Devine totally deserves this win. I'm glad that she's kind of been sweeping in this category. Good for her. You know, she's a beloved character actress, and she did a fantastic job in this role, and she's been recognized. I'm really glad for her.
She absolutely did. She was, like Maggie just said, please watch The Holdovers.
Please. It's such a perfect little film.
The other movies, I think that, in my opinion, were better technically than The Holdovers. Were more for the filmmaking aspect of it and not the story.
Yeah, she carried a lot of the emotion of The Holdovers, and she does it in a very natural way.
The only other person that I wish may have had a chance was Jodie Foster. I really enjoyed seeing her in the audience. The camera went to her a lot. It was just nice seeing an actress like her in just the limelight again. And
Jodie Foster is forever babe. She has been flawlessly beautiful since she was born, basically. She's stunning still.
I just want people to know, please, also, if you're going to watch a movie that really shows a different side of Jodie Foster and how much of a... This is why she is a well-known actress. So please, watch Nyad. Really good. Annette Bening, also great, but Jodie Foster, I think, killed it in that one.
Good to know. I really enjoyed Paul Giamatti crying while watching his coworker. Tear. That was beautiful. That single tear work was amazing. And we can also talk about very quickly that Sean Lennon, son of John Lennon, won an Oscar tonight. That's kind of nuts.
He did. He was on the team that worked on the short animated film War is Over.
And good for them. That's really, really amazing. I was shocked by, but thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they kind of bumped a lot of the big name awards up a little bit. Typically, the Oscars kind of do like best supporting actress, best supporting actor, and then like all the kind of technical stuff in between, and then animated and some more technical stuff, and then song. Whereas this year they kind of jumped from best supporting actress straight to the writing categories, both original and adapted screenplays. Caveman, you were very thrilled with the winners, and we will get to that in a second. I do want to bring up the fact that they considered Barbie an adapted screenplay because, and I quote, based on Barbie by Mattel.
Yeah, that was they literally
So they didn't
said,
come up with the
this
character?
Whole time we've been wondering what was the adaptation, and we kept guessing, was it just the name? And it turns out...
it was just the name. It was the character. It was
literally adapted from a name. The story...
Which is still some bullshit.
The story was an original story.
Mm-hmm. No, it was some bullshit, and they were trying to justify themselves. But
I think they had their original screenplay nominees already picked out, but knew that they wanted Barbie on the list.
Yeah, people would have flipped out if Barbie wasn't on it at all, so they put it on adapted.
How can we get it so adapted? But
whatever. Instead we got, for adapted screenplay, American Fiction, and they have for original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall. I think that this is wonderful that Anatomy of a Fall won, because it finally got 50 Cent to the Oscars, and they played some PIMP.
That was wonderful. I was so
wonderful.
happy as they're accepting their award.
But no, it was a thrill. Caveman was super excited about both wins. We unfortunately haven't seen American Fiction yet for literally lack of time. We currently have it rented and sitting on our Amazon right now. We just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. But this upcoming weekend, especially after we record The Joker, we're going to use that as a palate cleanser. And we're very excited.
I can't wait to watch American Fiction.
Oh my god, can we talk about John motherfucking Cena?
John
Cena! Whether you could see him or not, it was a delight, and I kind of can't believe that in front of the Oscars, the Academy Awards, film's most prestigious night, they got John Cena to walk out there in his birthday suit. You!
Like, I was expecting... I don't think I was expecting anything below the torso when he first popped up on the corner.
Yeah, I kind of expected, like, jorts. If he had come out in jorts, that would have been equally funny.
Right, but
he came out in all of it. I feel like only John Cena would agree to something like that because he is delightfully happy to make fun of himself. That guy has so much fun just being John Cena. And I love every second of it. I adore him. And we were howling when he came out in his little birthday suit, like wiggling across the stage. And then he just says, costumes. Genius. I don't think anybody caught what he said after that, because the second he said costumes, everybody was
Everybody
dying.
laughed, yeah.
I would also like to add that I thoroughly enjoyed the best song performance from Killers of a Flower Moon. Forgive me, I don't know the name of the song. It was just a really beautiful thing to see, an expression of Native joy and Native celebration in the midst of, like, let's be real honest, the Oscars, which is hella white. And I thought that it was a really beautiful thing to just, for America and internationally, for the world to see this celebration of Native American heritage. I thought that was beautiful.
After American Fiction got the Adapted Screenplay Award, Billie Eilish performed.
Yep, and the stage design I thought was very pretty. I thought she did a great job. But we'll get to my feelings on the best song in a minute here, because I have emotions. But yeah, I thought that the stage design was absolutely beautiful.
It was fun seeing a couple of presenters came up. It was Michael Keaton and Catherine O'Hara.
Who, I mean, Beetlejuice and Catherine O'Hara forever. They were darling. I think that Catherine O'Hara is one of the world's best treasures, so I'm always happy to see her in anything. And she looked stunning in that, like, black inky dress. Ooh, girl. So Jonathan Glazer won for Best Foreign Film for Zone of Interest. I have not seen Zone of Interest. I kind of don't want to, because it looks like a hella downer. Personally, I mean, it's a Holocaust film, guys. Like, it's a bummer of a movie. But Caveman has not stopped talking about it since, even before he saw it. Leading up to him seeing this film, he was obsessed with it. And since seeing this film, he does nothing but rave about it. Caveman?
It was just, first of all, it was a really hard film to track down, being a limited release. It was in, I think, 3 theaters when it first opened.
He had to search to see this film in theater, and he finally was
originally in
able
Los
to.
Angeles and New York, and finally it ended up in a theater locally, and I saw it first chance I got, and absolutely loved it.
The more that I kind of see about it, the more I think I'd be willing to watch it. Like, let's be real honest, I definitely Wikipedia'd the plot, because I kind of had to know how much it delves into the Auschwitz side of things.
Not a lot, but also a lot.
Yeah, so I think that the more that I see about this movie, the more I'll be able to watch it, but I'm going to have to be in the right mood, and I'm going to have immediate palate cleansers afterwards. Like, the happiest stuff you could imagine.
Well, if we ever do watch it.
Just, like, immediately Thor Ragnarok, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and, like, some beer or a shot of whiskey. Just something to just snap me right out of it. Because that's a film that's going to need comfort afterwards.
Well, when that happens, you can make sure we'll talk about it on this podcast.
I would just like to say that I really thoroughly enjoyed Jonathan Glazer's speech about what is currently happening in Palestine. I thought that was very heartfelt and lovely. And yeah, that touched me deeply, and I'm glad that the struggles of Palestine got some airtime tonight. Okay, so Best Supporting Actor went to exactly who we expected it to go to, Robert Downey Jr. The Tropic Thunder line from Sam Rockwell, who did play his foe in Iron Man 2, was a delight.
Why are you still in character?
I know, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't know.
Man, I don't drop character till I've done the DVD commentary.
I thought it was a layered joke, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Anytime you see 2 actors on stage together, knowing that they are whoever they played in the past.
Yeah, but old friends, clearly.
I mean, we know Chris Hemsworth was there, Robert Downey Jr. was there.
On the red carpets, we saw a little tiny reunion with them. It was very sweet to see Thor and Iron Man reconnect with each other.
And Hulk.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo was there too, so it was definitely like a tiny Avengers reunion, and that's really cool. But yeah, good for Robert Downey Jr. He did an incredible job in Oppenheimer. He really did steal the show. Personally, for me, the lasting, like, scene of Oppenheimer that is stuck in my head of that whole movie, from the one time I saw it on the day it came out, my lasting memory of that film is when, at the end of the film, Robert Downey Jr.'s character is talking to Alden Emmerich's character about the fact that, like, everybody knows that RDJ's character kind of ratted out Oppenheimer, and that's why he's not going to be or get a cabinet position.
Right.
They have this moment where Alden Emmerich is, like, talking to Robert Downey Jr., telling him exactly what he's done wrong, and RDJ takes a second, smiles, because he's literally putting on the face that he needs to put on to greet the press outside of his door, and just acknowledges the fact that he knows why he wasn't getting it, but he still disagrees with it. That little moment where Robert Downey Jr. smiles stuck with me. Of all of Oppenheimer, that's the scene I think about the most. So yeah, I think this Oscar was very well deserved. And for just a general career of awesomeness, good for you, RDJ. It was really not going to go to anybody else.
I agree that Robert Downey Jr. did a great job in Oppenheimer. I was really rooting for Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo did a great job, but like this was RDJ's year.
I didn't have the pleasure of seeing Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction yet, but from what I saw between Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, I think Mark Ruffalo killed it.
Mark Ruffalo did an incredible job. Honestly, I didn't understand why Poor Things was winning over Oppenheimer and Barbie until I saw Poor Things. That movie is genuinely perfect. And
you can watch it now on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Get ready for a lot of weird sex scenes, everybody.
Nudity
on
and
Disney
sex scenes
Plus.
and
Merkins and all of that.
Yeah, language, all that good stuff.
Oh boy.
Brought to you by Disney Plus.
But Poor Things really is an incredible film. And Mark Ruffalo did a great job at being just the worst person and the most terrible character. But it was RDJ's year. Sort of like how everybody knew that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to win for The Revenant because of everything he had done previously. I kind of feel like that's what this award was for Robert Downey Jr. Not saying he doesn't deserve it because he was incredible, but they chose that this was going to be his year to be recognized, and I'm glad for that.
Before we go on to visual effects, I wanted to bring up something that happened during the awards show that I got really excited about and then realized I was being lied to at the same time.
And what was that?
When they started thanking stunt performers.
When they started thanking the stunt performers, I too was like, holy shit, there's going to be a best stunt Oscar.
Because they teased a best cast.
Like a best casting Oscar.
Right, for
sort
next
of how
year.
like the SAG Awards has an overall cast award.
Right.
Yeah, next year or maybe the year after, but probably next year they're going to start doing best ensemble. So while they spent a lot of time talking about how incredible stunt performers are, which, let's be honest, like some of the stunts we've seen in any movie ever are spectacular. Stunt teams deserve recognition. Caveman and I got super excited thinking that there was going to be a best stunt performer or stunt team Oscar, and we got super excited, and then it turned out to just be a little segment about how great they were.
Thanks for all your hard work.
But you don't get an award.
Great job. Okay, next.
Yeah, there should absolutely be a stunt Oscar. If you think about some of the most incredible things that we have seen, everything that they do in Marvel, everything that they've done in Disney, just in general, Jackie Chan deserves an Oscar for stunts. All of these incredible stunt performers, The Matrix, all of the Lord of the Rings films, anything that MCU
film,
or the DC, fucking John Wick. You're telling me that John Wick doesn't deserve an Oscar for those incredible stunts?
Sometimes there's stunt performers in comedies and dramas.
Yeah. They deserve recognition, and we got really excited thinking that it was finally happening, and it didn't.
No, it was... Yeah, that was probably my biggest disappointment of the night.
I have to agree with you. But they did give us Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito in a little Twins reunion where they made fun of Batman / Michael Keaton.
Danny DeVito
and that was
amazing.
It was everything.
Him and Michael Keaton just locked eyes and
you felt the chemistry.
Yeah, Danny DeVito turned right back into the Penguin.
Yeah.
Keaton was just giving him Batman
Pure
eyes.
Batman.
Didn't
And-
say anything, but just gave him the eyes.
And even though
And then-
Keaton wasn't Schwarzenegger's
was
Batman,
Batman.
you still felt like he was threatened.
Schwarzenegger looked like he was having fun, but he was definitely on DeVito's shoulders.
Yeah, no, this was a Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton thing for sure, and it was
Absolutely.
absolutely perfect.
That was a surprise, and that was a wonderful surprise.
And then we found out that Godzilla Minus One got the Oscar for Best Special Effects, which was 100% deserved. That was honestly
Another movie that
one of the
anybody
best.
out there who missed that one while it was in theaters, please go watch it.
Yeah, try to find it on the biggest screen you can. If The Holdovers was my favorite film overall of 2023, Godzilla Minus One was my favorite action film. It was and honestly probably my second favorite film that I saw last year. It is flawless.
Godzilla Minus One is my favorite Godzilla movie.
Oh, it is
and-
absolutely the best Godzilla movie ever made.
And I love the 1954 Godzilla movie.
And we kind of even enjoy the modern ones, which are super stupid, but our son loves watching them with us, so it's more of like a special family bonding thing to watch these, big budgeted, out of their mind films that are more animated than anything, but they still do hold a special place in our heart. But Godzilla Minus One is a flawless story. Please, if you haven't seen it, go check it out and tell us what you think. It's spectacular. And I'm really glad for them that they won and all their little plastic Godzillas got to go up on stage with him.
Next category was film editing, which I was really hoping would go to either Poor Things or Anatomy of a Fall. But in the moment, right before the award was given, I pretty much just blurted it out. It's going to Oppenheimer.
I mean, again, I haven't seen all the films in this category, but Oppenheimer does use editing in a really beautiful way. It uses editing and the whole flow of time really well. And I just think that it's richly deserved, because it's not like it went to... All right, I'm going to say it. Poor Things was a spectacular film, but the editing wasn't as sort of inventive and delightful as I found it in Oppenheimer. The use of black and white, the use of future and past, it's very Christopher Nolan, but the editing made it easier than, say, Tenet. Yeah, so they deserved it for that alone. I really enjoyed the America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon bit that they did with Steven Spielberg. And apparently Steven Spielberg has a lot of Kate McKinnon's nudes. And I want to have tasteful nudes. But now I want to hack Steven Spielberg's phone because I need to see those tasteful nudes.
Steven Spielberg did a lot of things tonight that were very unexpected of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, he
was very up for
in,
he played.
He played into it.
He played around.
Had fun with the jokes of it.
Yeah. He looked like he was having fun. He had a fun night for somebody. He knew he didn't have to do anything at night.
No, just be there and
be there. Yeah.
Be goofy. And they had a lot of fun with the audience reactions. When they cut to the dog from Anatomy to the Fall and the dog was clapping, that gave me life. That gif will last forever, and you know it.
For those of you who have seen Anatomy of the Fall, you all know that dog alone deserves an Oscar.
Wes Anderson has an Oscar. Wes Anderson.
He finally got an Oscar.
I mean, I think mostly deserved it for The Royal Tenenbaums.
He didn't
which
show
is
up because he was working on his
film.
paper mache.
His paper mache. I'm really happy for Wes Anderson. I think it's richly deserved. I still think that he deserves a Best Directing Oscar. Or writing Oscar, because he does do incredible things, but I also feel like he has time to get those. But it's nice to know that he does have a gold statue on his wall now.
Listen, those of us who like Wes Anderson movies, we love Wes Anderson movies. Those of us who don't, we don't. And I'm glad that he finally got something.
Yeah.
At least, it's not like Wes Anderson's I wonder if people like me.
No, Wes Anderson is a
following.
Richly rewarded director.
It is
and
wild,
artist.
though, that
people love him, no matter what.
He got this for a short film.
But it is, but it was, honestly, that little short film was one of the best Wes Anderson things that I've seen in a few years.
I think I ranked it on my Letterboxd higher than Asteroid City.
That's fair. I didn't even bother with Asteroid City. I think that honestly, I think that I'd say it was his best work since the hotel one.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, the Grand Budapest. Like, I feel like those two are comparable, and that anything after that's been sort of weak. But nonetheless, I love Wes Anderson, and that whole series of short films that he did on Netflix were really charming and kind of the perfect amount of him and his style. I really enjoyed John Mulaney and when he just went off on the plot of Field of Dreams. As much as I feel like only John Cena could appear naked on stage at the Oscars and be accepted and applauded for that, I feel like only John Mulaney can go off on a random tangent about a really old movie and just keep the audience completely enraptured by it. I adore John Mulaney. I really do think that he was the best presenter of the night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And they made a lot of Madam Web zingers. Like, a lot.
Surprising a lot of Madam Web digs.
Yeah, well, it's the only way that Madam Web is going to ever actually be at the Oscars, so I think they should just enjoy it. And then, the moment we were all waiting for, what has to be the greatest presentation of Best Original Song ever. Ryan Gosling with I'm Just Ken in that pink bedazzled outfit, playing around with Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig and the whole audience.
Pink gloves.
The pink gloves. All the Kens were there.
Yeah.
Fucking Slash, motherfucking Slash, who I adore, was there. It was an absolute blast. Purely, he deserved an Oscar for that performance.
Just for the performance.
Just for that.
Yeah.
It was so good, and you cannot deny it. I was so happy to see the other Kens. We had Kingsley Benadir, we had Scott Evans, we had Ncuti Gatwa, and we had Simu Liu, and I was so happy to see them dancing around on the stage behind Ryan Gosling. It filled me with joy. Everybody knew that the best song was going to go to one of the Barbie songs. It did go to Billie Eilish for What Am I Made For, which is a really beautiful song and an important song, but honest God, I'm Just Ken was robbed. It was the better song. It's the better song on the soundtrack, in the movie, across social media. It was the better song, but this was Barbie's Oscar, so.
I want to say just like the performance on the stage was amazing. The performance of that song in the movie was also choreographed, amazing.
It was a daydream.
Right.
It was so good.
I'm not like the biggest Billie Eilish fan, but man, I really like that Billie Eilish song.
Look, don't get me wrong. I adore What Was I Made For. When it plays in the movie, when Barbie and Ruth are having that moment where Barbie is deciding to be alive and she sees all of those incredible, real women just existing in their lives in that gorgeous montage, which is my favorite moment of that whole film. Don't get me wrong, that makes me cry every time. But I'm Just Ken is more fun. It's more entertaining. That performance was incredible. Like, I think
it's replayable.
It's replayable, but not only that, it speaks to the pathos of who Ken is and what he wants. He just wants to be loved. He just wants to be and be loved. And that's really good. And I love it more than the Billie Eilish
The song tells a story without you even having to...
I'm Just Ken and I'm enough. Like, just him acknowledging the fact that who he is good enough to be. Like, it's just, I think it's a deeper song wrapped in a funny package, but at least we got that performance.
The performance was worth it.
And that was my award for the evening.
Original score went to our man, Ludwig Göransson.
Ludwig Göransson, who we have loved since Community. Yes, all you human beings out there. The guy who scored Community and New Girl and Happy Endings is a 2-time Oscar winner. He won originally for Black Panther, which is an incredible score, and won again tonight for Oppenheimer. I love him. One of my top 5 favorite romantic songs is done by Ludwig Göransson. It's called If I Die Before You. Definitely check it out because it's perfect. And yeah, I'm really happy for him. I'm always glad to see him get rewarded because I've been a fan of his since, honestly, day one of Community. So Nicolas Cage was at the Oscars. How cool was that? He was a part of the 5 guys coming out for the Best Actor category. And he was just as Nicolas Cage could be.
Matthew McConaughey, who looked like shoe leather.
Matthew McConaughey is a little bit too tanned, and honestly, I'm worried for you, girl. See a dermatologist. Yoif.
But it was just like all the other former winners talking to the current nominees.
Which was really sweet.
Every single speech that each one of them had for their nominee
was incredibly heartfelt.
Each one was so sweet. And yeah, it's, of course, this award show is just actors patting themselves on the back.
Yes, we're rich and famous and beloved, but we're also the best people.
But sometimes it's just fun it's entertaining to watch that kind of human interaction.
And when you love the movies like we do, I think you have to accept the fact that, yes, Hollywood in itself as an industry has its head shoved so far up its own ass that you kind of can't tell which end is which. But you just have to deal with that. Sort of like when you go to Disneyland and you know that when you're hugging Mickey Mouse, it's not the actual Mickey Mouse, but you allow yourself to believe. Caveman and I love the movies, and we allow ourselves to believe that these human beings that make them are incredible. And, so I've always enjoyed the Oscars. It's sort of been my Super Bowl. The way that people go out and love on the Super Bowl, but then shit on the Oscars, they don't realize it's the same thing. It's just the jocks versus the drama nerds, and this is our Super Bowl. I've always loved the Oscars, and yes, it's overdone, and yes, it's grandiose, and yes, there are really important things happening in this world that deserve more attention, but this is my fun. This is my once-a-year fun. I genuinely miss the days of live tweeting the Oscars, back when Twitter was a safe ground and a fun place and not an absolute cesspool. It's been over a decade, but fuck was it fun. And also good for Cillian Murphy, I guess. Because that's where we were leading.
Yeah, we're leading into Cillian Murphy winning Best Actor.
Which we all expected.
Right. I would have loved if Paul Giamatti won.
Paul Giamatti deserved it.
If Jeffrey Wright would have won. I say that
Jeffrey Wright will have his year.
I say that I didn't see American Fiction, but
just from what we have seen, we know it's a great job.
I know Jeffrey Wright as an actor because I've seen him in so many things.
But Jeffrey Wright is going to get his Oscar one day.
Of course he will. Of course he will.
He's absolutely going to get his Oscar one day.
Same thing with Coleman Domingo. Coleman Domingo, another amazing actor.
So good.
If I encourage everybody to go onto YouTube and type in Sing Sing. It's a new trailer from A24. The lead actor being Coleman Domingo. I got teary-eyed just from the trailer alone. So I think
he's going to have his time.
These actors are coming back for years to come.
It is nice, too, that a lot of the, and in fact, they even mentioned it in the Oscars, that a lot of the performances nominated across the board were first-time nominees. They were kind of outside-of-the-box nominees. It wasn't just Leonardo DiCaprio again. It wasn't just, I guess Martin Scorsese was nominated. But still, there was more diversity and there was more first-time creators nominated, and that's really refreshing, and I hope that the Academy keeps with that instead of giving just the same 10 people all their awards.
And I think that was one of the biggest draws for me this year, was not only did I really enjoy all 10 of these films, but it was the first year in a long time where I was really, really excited about.
There wasn't a lot of Oscar bait. It was like they were genuinely different new films. And not just like, another Holocaust movie and another biography, although those movies did get nominated. But it wasn't just that.
It wasn't just a Holocaust movie.
No, it wasn't just a war film. It wasn't just
a biographical film.
They were all very richly layered films this year, which is nice. It's refreshing. And I really think that a lot of people are going to be more connected to the movies this year than they definitely have in the past. We'll see how the ratings go for the Oscars, but man, I know a lot of people that were enjoying them thoroughly. I didn't feel like the In Memoriam was that great.
It was very quick.
It was weird that they had dancers on the stage, and that the In Memoriam pictures themselves were on a very small, round screen. And while it was beautiful to see Andre Bauer up there and Matthew Perry up there, and all these incredible actors, it just sort of felt like it was rushed, and then they just listed a bunch of names of what, like the behind the scenes nobodies. Whereas the in memoriam at the SAG Awards was genuine and brought me to absolute sobbing tears. This in memoriam just made me go, huh, oh, yeah, boy.
However, it was nice to see or hear.
I'm never going to live this down. So once when I was younger, I told my mom, and had subsequently told Caveman Steve this story, but I had once, when I found out that Andrea Bocelli was blind, I was shocked by this news, because every time I saw him singing, he had his eyes closed, and I just thought that he was singing passionately. And they have not let me live that down.
So as soon as
Caveman saw him.
As soon as the music started up and it sounded like whoever was singing sounded like they were singing live, and then the camera
it showed Andre
right
Bocelli
on him, and I was like, Maggie, is he just singing passionately?
Look, we're all dumb as kids. Like, you don't know. You just see a man with his eyes closed in quick clips on infomercials at 1 a.m, and you think, wow, he's just really passionately singing. I didn't know he was blind. And we're not making fun of the blind here, I promise. We're just making fun of the fact that I'm really stupid, and I have more than enough of those stories about my childhood and not understanding things. So shut up, stop making fun of me.
And to no surprise, to me at least, Christopher Nolan, Best Director.
Christopher Nolan, good for him. I think it's well deserved. That man has been an incredible director since Memento? And
yeah, absolutely. Since Memento, and I mean, some people really like Following, not me so much, but at least from Memento.
Yeah, Memento put him on the map, and now here he is finally getting his recognition. Oppenheimer is a very beautiful film. It is very well put together. I think it deserved the cinematography, which it got. I think it deserved the directing, which it got. That movie is big, and it's grandiose, and it spans timelines, and it has to put quantum theory and fucking, nuclear physics into a way that is somewhat understandable. I thought he did an incredible job, and I'm proud of him. You know what was a big surprise?
I think I know where you're going.
Emma Stone getting Best Actress. That was a bit of a stunner.
That was a big surprise for me.
Let's be honest, it was supposed to be Lily Gladstone's. Like, everybody thought she was the 100% shoo-in.
She had just received a SAG award for the same
I think she got the
role.
Golden Globes. I mean, she got the BAFTA. Like, this woman has been sopping up the awards.
There were a couple of award shows where Emma Stone did win over Lily Gladstone, but it wasn't as many. And the ones that Lily Gladstone was winning were kind of a higher grade, I guess you could say.
But then the Oscars come along.
You expect, all right, well, since a lot of times SAG award kind of shows
the BAFTA, the Golden Globe,
who's going to win the Oscar, but I think that was probably the biggest surprise for me.
It was definitely the biggest surprise for me, too. I thought that Emma Stone did a great job in Poor Things. Bella Baxter is a fantastic character. It was a very bold and rich and kind of like brave choice of a role. The amount of times she's naked, the amount of times she has very bizarre sex scenes, just everything about that character is big and bizarre, and I really don't feel like anybody else but Emma Stone could have portrayed that role. I can't imagine anybody else in that role. But it was supposed to be Lily Gladstone's year. I didn't see Killers of the Flower Moon, but I did see Poor Things, so maybe I wasn't too shocked. But if you just went based off the trends of all the awards before, it should have been Lily Gladstone's night.
I think Lily Gladstone was the highlight of Killers of the Flower Moon, but so was Emma Stone.
Emma Stone kept a great ensemble together. She was the queen of that whole ensemble, but they all played brilliantly with her and against her. But ultimately, I'm glad for Emma Stone, and Lily Gladwell will be back. Like, if this was her first major role and she got all of those awards for it, like, anything she does after this has got to be spectacular. I think she's got great things ahead of her.
Final category of the night.
Best Picture went to Al Pacino, fucking it all up at the very end.
Al Pacino.
I get that it is the final award of the night. I get that there is prestige to it, but they always send out somebody who is much older.
Read.
They always send out somebody who stumbles over the Best Picture. If you think about, like, the last 20 years of Best Picture nominees, like, you're thinking about the La La Land Moonlight mishap. You're thinking about Elizabeth Taylor and Gladiator. Like, you're thinking of all of these goof-ups. And once again, Al Pacino just walked out and was like, I'm Al Pacino, and then just opened the envelope and was like, Oppenheimer. And then there was a pause where nobody knew what the fuck was going on, because I don't think he read the prompter. I don't think he did it right. He just Al Pacino'd out there and opened the fucking thing up. Hooah.
Yeah, I don't know how you, I guess just get somebody who can just go out there and do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, like, I get that you want to honor an actor or a director of long standing, but get somebody who's a little more capable. You know, and I feel bad saying that, and I'm not trying to be ageist, but, like, get somebody who can just read the prompter and do their own thing, and not just Gladiator all over it. But yeah, that was the Oscars. That was the 96 Oscars. I thought it was a really wonderful job. We kind of skipped over that The Boy and the Heron won Best Animated Feature, which of course it did.
We did skip over that, and I was really happy when I heard that. I know a lot of people are a little upset because they really wanted Spider-Man to win, but
Spider-Man won for their first movie, and that was the more deserved win. So, but we'll get to that when we actually review those movies. But no, I thought that it was an incredible show. We laughed a lot. We had really fun times just sitting back and enjoying it. It didn't feel like 3.5 hours. Jimmy Kimmel did a pretty good job, personally. And yeah, I'm pleased for all the winners. Like, I'm not sitting back going, I'm so angry that Berber didn't win. Everybody, it was well-deserved. Even if I preferred other nominees, it's a well-deserved year. Like, nobody did a bad job. Nobody, Gwyneth Paltrow, Shakespeare in Love did. Like, it was all fantastic.
Hey, the night's still young, so let's get back out here and start mingling.
Yeah, let's go back to the party, because I'm pretty sure Ryan Gosling just came in, and I want to slip him your phone number. Oh,
hey,
yeah, no.
Hey, Chris?
It's Kate Blanchett here. Join us next time on Movie Mingle on all podcast platforms. We have got Spirited Away coming up this upcoming Wednesday. We're very excited, and we hope you enjoyed our silly little bonus episode. Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr., I want to talk to you. Okay, bye.